How's it going, everybody? It's Matt Tomorrow. We're going to be doing the State of the Union live address, the actual analysis afterwards, after playing the speech live here. Right here. Waiting on Mike B, Nagon 11, Renaissance Man to come through. So while we're doing that, catch up on some things. Oh, that type of craziness going on, huh? Oh, man. But those are the things that happen, you know. But normally the president is already are on the grounds of the actual White House, and I don't know how a protester could be stopping traffic like that. That sounds kind of crazy, but hey, what can you do? Yeah, what's going on? Checking for you. What's going on? Rolling on Sun. What's going on? Keith Smith. What's going on? AO. Enjoying my time off, man, between January and April. And I normally don't live stream all that much during that time period. Pretty much enjoying myself without being around most of these people on the platform here. Kind of got to reset myself, you know, since most people want to be fighting a gender war one way or another. I'm trying to keep this thing alive one way or another. So, hold on a second. Waiting on Mike B to get here. Because we got to make some predictions before we go into this. I think that the actual president should come out swinging. State of the Union, strong economy. I'm not talking about for unproductive people who, not those people, but like the economy's doing fine. And if you want the economy to do better, the last thing you would do is put an actual conservative in care about the economy at all. So this is what's currently showing on C-SPAN. Hold on a second. What's going on, man?
Yeah, what's up?
Chilling out, waiting for this thing to start. It normally start 10 to 15 minutes afterwards, but
Yeah, I
it
was
was
gonna say
called
usually
Deion
you can
Davis.
tell. Yeah, usually you can tell when people are sitting down or like begin to sit down. That I'm sure that people have given the word that the president, is on the way.
I mean, I actually been to one, so there's like tons of people that are outside the view of the cameras that give people signals of what's going on. So,
Yeah.
yo,
Now, I was reading an article today. They're looking like they're getting ready because the guys at the lectern and stuff. But they said Biden's supposed to be fiery in this speech today. So
yeah, yeah, no, I talked to some people already read it because they always give a copy of the speech to like media personnel, and he's supposed to come and swing it. So, just off the phone with somebody before this right here. What's going on? What's going on, Citizen Lou?
yeah, you send him the link too.
Oh shit! Hold on a second. I'll just post it in the chat, man.
Yeah, they're showing John Roberts. I wonder if anybody, is it Clarence Thomas never shows up these things?
Renaissance man, you're going in and out or kind of muffled or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't it? They're showing Clarence Thomas. I mean, they were showing John Roberts. Isn't it always Clarence Thomas who doesn't show up to these normally?
No, I don't think Clarence Thomas ever shows up to a State of the Union. Well, now when the Democrats and all of a sudden, I don't think he ever shown up.
Yeah, I think he's like notorious for doing that. I saw Ketanji Brown Jackson, so
I think I've seen all of them by now. Like, you've seen them all standing together. Well, they're
yeah,
standing together now, obviously. But yeah, I've seen all of them except for Clarence Thomas.
yeah. The guests too will be interesting. Like the special guest that he brings. I know he's bringing like one of the victims of October 7th. But who else there is guest will be? What's up, Citizen Lou?
What's going on, man? But there should be a lot of people who was wearing white. There wasn't just one person, multitudes of people that was wearing white. So I'm not sure why they're there. Well, I guess we're gonna find out.
Hey, what's going on, y'all?
See there? See there? A lot of them are wearing white behind.
Hey, is there any?
I can hear you, but you can't hear me.
Yeah. No, he wasn't saying anything.
No,
He was muted.
no. I was gonna say, was there any background noise? Background noise?
Yeah, you're kind of low. He's talking.
Yeah, kind of low. Other than that, yeah.
I'm gonna put both of my headphones in. Is this better?
Still low, but we can hear you.
It's low.
I was gonna say it'll get better too once we stop playing. Like once the stream is over, the speech is over, we'll be able to hear you probably about the background. Yeah, here comes the VP, so be ready.
No, she's been up there. I mean, she left a couple times, but she's been up there though. Come on, Black Avenger. You know there's gonna be a couple outbursts. You know, people trying to raise their money. You know there's gonna be an outburst by somebody.
No, Margie Taylor Green, Matt Gates, that guy Chip Roy from Oklahoma,
Yeah. What's her name?
Lauren
Bo
Boebert.
Bear. Yeah, Bo Bear. Her dumb ass. That whole Freedom Caucus is about to be some. I can
Yep,
already see it.
I
Mike
bet.
told him. He told him not to do anything, though. But this is the part of insurrection, so they're not gonna really follow orders.
Yeah, I was gonna say too. Byron Donalds may get up and do something stupid too. You know, being the Freedom Caucus black cheerleader.
Mr. Speaker, the President's Cabinet.
Yeah, y'all make sure y'all take notes on the actual speech. I know I am. So.
Yeah, I'm surprised no one's seen Tim Scott.
I haven't seen him yet either. In fact, I don't think I've seen Cory Booker yet either.
Yeah, I haven't seen him. Here we go.
Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
Wow. Wait, wow. MOT, look at this.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Mr. President. Good to see you, Mr. President. This is about you. This is about the soul of the nation.
I mean, you gotta understand, man. Trump has to like survive an onslaught of legit criticism for like the next
You see
7 months,
you
7,
see
8
Marty
months.
Taylor Green's outfit?
Say it again.
Do you see Marty Taylor Green's outfit?
Yes.
Like just taunting, literally. Being obnoxious as usual.
No. Like she just put all that stuff on. She didn't have it on earlier. And now not supposed to put a hat on inside the actual space, man.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
she just put that stuff on. Just did. Man, like, bro, he's with the Secret Service, man. Everybody just kept pulling out their phones and trying to. What's wrong with y'all? She just posted up, bag it up in his face, man. That's Mitt Romney right there on the right. That's Joe Manchin. Yeah, that's Joe Manchin. Hey, man, why don't you run there, John Clark?
Tony. Thank you. Senator Jill. Good evening. Good evening. If I were smart, I'd go home now. Mr. Speaker, Madam Vice President, members of Congress, my fellow Americans, in January 1941, Franklin Roosevelt came to this chamber to speak to the nation, and he said, "I address you at a moment unprecedented in the history of the Union. Hitler was on the march. War was raging in Europe. President Roosevelt's purpose was to wake up Congress and alert the American people that this was no ordinary time. Freedom and democracy were under assault in the world. Tonight, I come to this same chamber to address the nation. Now, it's we who face an unprecedented moment in the history of the Union. And yes, my purpose tonight is to wake up the Congress and alert the American people that this is no ordinary moment either. Not since President Lincoln and the Civil War have freedom and democracy been under assault at home as they are today. What makes our moment rare is that freedom and democracy are under attack both at home and overseas at the very same time. Overseas, Putin of Russia is on the march, invading Ukraine and sowing chaos throughout Europe and beyond. If anybody in this room thinks Putin will stop at Ukraine, I assure you he will not. But Ukraine can stop Putin. Ukraine can stop Putin if we stand with Ukraine and provide weapons that needs it in itself. That is all. That is all Ukraine is asking. They're not asking for American soldiers. In fact, there are no American soldiers at war in Ukraine, and they're determined to keep it that way. But now, assistance to Ukraine is being blocked by those who want to walk away from our world leadership. It wasn't long ago when a Republican president named Ronald Reagan thundered, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall." Now, my predecessor, a former Republican president, tells Putin, quote, "Do whatever the hell you want." That's a quote. A former president actually said that bowing down to a Russian leader, I think it's outrageous, it's dangerous, and it's unacceptable. America is a founding member of NATO, the military alliance of democratic nations created after World War II to prevent war and keep the peace. And today, we've made NATO stronger than ever. We welcomed Finland to the alliance last year. And just this morning, Sweden officially joined, and their minister is here tonight. Can they stand up? Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And they know how to fight. Mr. Prime Minister, welcome to NATO, the strongest military alliance the world has ever seen. I say this to Congress, we have to stand up to Putin. Send me a bipartisan national security bill. History is literally watching. History is watching. If the United States walks away, it will put Ukraine at risk. Europe is at risk. The free world will be at risk, emboldening others to do what they wish to do us harm. My message to President Putin, who I've known for a long time, is simple. We will not walk away. We will not bow down. I will not bow down. In a literal sense, history is watching. History is watching. Just like history watched 3 years ago on January 6th, when insurrectionists stormed this very Capitol and placed a dagger to the throat of American democracy. Many of you were here on that darkest days. We all saw with our own eyes the insurrectionists were not patriots. They'd come to stop the peaceful transfer of power, to overturn the will of the people. January 6th lies about the 2020 election and plots to steal the election posed a gravest threat to U.S. democracy since the Civil War. But they failed. America stood. America stood strong, and democracy prevailed. We must be honest. The threat to democracy must be defended. My predecessor and some of you here seek to bury the truth about January 6th. I will not do that. This is the moment to speak the truth and to bury the lies. Here's the simple truth. You can't love your country only when you win. As I've done ever since being elected to office, I ask all of you, without regard to party, to join together and defend democracy. Remember your oath of office of defending against all threats, foreign and domestic. Respect free and fair elections, restore trust in our institutions, and make clear political violence has absolutely no place in America, zero place. Again, it's not hyperbole to suggest history is watching. We're watching. Your children and grandchildren will read about this day and what we do. History is watching another assault on freedom. Joining us tonight is Latoya Beasley, a social worker from Birmingham, Alabama. 14 months ago, she and her husband welcomed a baby girl thanks to the miracle of IVF. She scheduled treatments to have that second child. But the Alabama Supreme Court shut down IVF treatments across the state, unleashed by a Supreme Court decision overturning Roe v. Wade. She was told her dream would have to wait. What her family had got through should never have happened. Unless Congress acts, it could happen again. So tonight, let's stand up for families like hers. To my friends across the aisle, don't keep this waiting any longer. Guarantee the right to AVF. Guarantee it nationwide. Like most Americans, I believe Roe v. Wade got it right. I thank Vice President Harris for being an incredible leader, defending reproductive freedom, and so much more. Thank you. My predecessor came to office determined to see Roe v. Wade overturned. He's the reason it was overturned, and he brags about it. Look at the chaos that has resulted. Joining us tonight is Kate Cox, the wife and mother from Dallas. She's become pregnant again and had a fetus with a fatal condition. Her doctor told Kate that her own life and ability to have children in the future were at risk if she didn't act. Because Texas law banned her ability to act, Kate and her husband had to leave the state to get what she needed. What her family got through should have never happened as well, but it's happening in too many others. There are state laws banning the freedom to choose, criminalizing doctors, forcing survivors of rape and incest to leave their states to get the treatment they need. Many of you in this chamber and my predecessor are promising to pass a national ban on reproductive freedom. My God, what freedom else would you take away? Look, it's a decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. The Supreme Court majority wrote the following, and with all due respect, justices, women are not without electoral power. Electoral or political power. You're about to realize just how much you're right about that. Clearly, those bragging about overturning Roe v. Wade have no clue about the power of women. But they found out when reproductive freedom was on the ballot. We won in 2022 and 2020, and we'll win again in 2024. If you, the American people, send me a Congress that supports the right to choose, I promise you, I'll restore Roe v. Wade as the law of the land again. Folks, America cannot go back. I'm here tonight to show what I believe is the way forward, because I know how far we've come. 4 years ago next week, before I came to office, the country was hit by the worst pandemic and the worst economic crisis in a century. Remember the fear, record losses? Remember the spikes in crime and the murder rate, raging virus that took more than 1 million American lives, of loved ones, millions left behind? A mental health crisis of isolation and loneliness. A president, my predecessor, failed the most basic presidential duty that he owes to American people, the duty to care. I think that's unforgivable. I came to office determined to get us through one of the toughest periods in the nation's history. We have. It doesn't make news, but in 1,000 cities and towns, the American people are writing the greatest comeback story never told. So let's tell the story here. Tell it here and now. America's comeback is building the future of American possibilities, building an economy from the middle out and the bottom up, not the top down, investing in all America and all Americans to make sure everyone has a fair shot, and we leave no one behind. The pandemic no longer controls our lives. The vaccine that saved us from COVID are now being used to beat cancer, turning setback into comeback. That's what America does. That's what America does. Folks, my inherited economy is on the brink. Now our economy is the envy of the world. 15 million new jobs in just 3 years, a record, a record. Unemployment at 50-year lows. A record 16 million Americans are starting small businesses, and each one is a literal act of hope. With historic job growth and small business growth for Black and Hispanic and Asian Americans, 800,000 new manufacturing jobs in America and counting. Where is it written we can't be the manufacturing capital of the world? We are, we will. More people have health insurance today. More people have health insurance today than ever before. The racial wealth gap is as small as it's been in 20 years. Wages keep going up. Inflation keeps coming down. Inflation has dropped from 9% to 3%, lowest in the world and tending lower. The landing is and will be soft. And now, instead of importing foreign products and exporting American jobs, we're exporting American products and creating American jobs right here in America, where they belong. And it takes time, but the American people are beginning to feel it. Consumer studies show consumer confidence is soaring. Buy America has been the law of the land since the 1930s. Past administrations, including my predecessor, and some Democrats as well in the past, failed to buy American. Not anymore. On my watch, federal projects that you fund, like helping build American roads, bridges, and highways, will be made with American products and built by American workers. Creating good-paying American jobs. And thanks to our CHIPS and Science Act, the United States is investing more in research and development than ever before. During the pandemic, a shortage of semiconductors, chips, that drove the price of everything from cell phones to automobiles. By the way, we invented those chips right here in America. Well, instead of having to import them, private companies are now investing billions of dollars to build new chip factories here in America, creating tens of thousands of jobs. Many of those jobs paying $100,000 a year and don't require a college degree. In fact, my policies have attracted $650 billion private sector investment in clean energy, advanced manufacturing, creating tens of thousands of jobs here in America. And thanks to our bipartisan infrastructure law, 46,000 new projects have been announced all across your communities. And by the way, I noticed some of you strongly voted against it, or they're cheering on that money coming in. I like it. I'm with you. I'm with you. If any of you don't want that money in your district, just let me know. Modernizing our roads and bridges, ports and airports, public transit systems. Removing poisonous pipes so every child can drink clean water without risk of brain damage. Providing affordable high-speed internet for every American, no matter where you live, urban, suburban, or rural communities, in red states and blue states. Record investments in tribal communities. Because of my investment in the family farm, because I invested in family farms led by my Secretary of Agriculture, who knows more about this than anybody I know, we're better able to stay in the family for those farms and their children and grandchildren won't have to leave home to make a living. It's transformative. The great comeback story is Belvidere, Illinois, home to an auto plant for nearly 60 years. Before I came to office, the plant was on its way to shutting down. Thousands of workers feared for their livelihoods. Hope was fading. Then I went to the office and we raised the Belvidere repeatedly with auto companies, knowing unions would make all the difference. The UAW worked like hell to keep the plant open and get these jobs back, and together we succeeded. Instead of auto factories shutting down, auto factories reopened, and new state-of-the-art battery factories being built to power those cars there at the same. The folks of Belvidere, I say, instead of your town being left behind, your community is moving forward again. Because instead of watching auto jobs in the future go overseas, 4,000 union jobs with higher wages are building the future in Belvidere right here in America. Here tonight is UAW President Shawn Fain, a great friend and a great labor leader. Shawn, where are you? Stand up. And Dawn Sim, a third-generation worker, UAW worker at Belvedere. Shawn, I was proud to be the first president to stand on the picket line, and today, Dawn has a good job in her hometown, providing stability for her family and pride and dignity as well. Showing once again, Wall Street didn't build America. They're not bad guys. They didn't build it, though. The middle class built the country, and unions built the middle class. Say to the American people, when America gets knocked down, we get back up. We keep going. That's America. That's you, the American people. Because of you, America's coming back. It's because of you, our future writers. Because of you, that tonight we can proudly say the state of our union is strong and getting stronger. Tonight, I want to talk about the future of possibilities that we can build together. A future where the days of trickle-down economics are over, and the wealthy and the big corporations no longer get all the tax breaks. And by the way, I understand corporations. I come from a state that has more corporations invested than every one of your states in the state of the United States combined. And I represented it for 36 years. I'm not anti-corporation, but I grew up in a home where trickle-down economics didn't put much on my dad's kitchen table. That's why I determined to turn things around so middle class does well. When they do well, the poor are way up and the wealthy still do very well. We all do well. And there's more to do to make sure you're feeling the benefits of all we're doing. Americans pay more for prescription drugs than anywhere in the world. It's wrong, and I'm ending it. With a law that I proposed and signed, not one of you Republican buddies voted for it. We finally beat Big Pharma. Instead of paying $400 a month or thereabouts for insulin with diabetes, and it only costs $10 to make, they only get paid $35 a month now and still make a healthy profit. And I want to, but what to do next? I want to cap the cost of insulin at $35 a month for every American who needs it. Everyone. For years, people have talked about it, but finally we got it done and gave Medicare the power to negotiate lower prices on prescription drugs, just like the VA is able to do for veterans. That's not just saving seniors money, it's saving taxpayers money. Cut the federal deficit by $160 billion. Because Medicare will no longer have to pay those exorbitant prices to Big Pharma. This year, Medicare is negotiating lower prices for some of the costliest drugs on the market to treat everything from heart disease to arthritis. It's now time to go further and give Medicare power to negotiate lower prices for 500 different drugs for the next decade. They're making a lot of money, guys. And they'll still be extremely profitable. Will not only save lives, it will save taxpayers another $200 billion. Starting this year, the same law caps total prescription drug costs for seniors on Medicare at $2,000 a year, even for expensive cancer drugs that cost $10,000, $12,000, $15,000. I want to cap prescription drug costs at $2,000 a year for everyone. Folks, I'm going to get in trouble for saying that, but if you want to get in Air Force One and fly to Toronto, Berlin, Moscow, well, even Moscow, probably. And bring a prescription with you, and I promise you I'll get it for you for 40% the cost you're paying now. Same company, same drug, same place. Folks, the Affordable Care Act, the old Obamacare, it's still a very big deal. Over 100 million of you can no longer be denied health insurance because of a pre-existing condition. Well, my predecessor, and many in this chamber, want to take this prescription drug away by repealing the Affordable Care Act. I'm not going to let that happen. We stopped you 50 times before, and we'll stop you again. In fact, I'm not only protecting it, I'm expanding it. We enacted tax credits of $800 per person per year, reduce health care costs for millions of working families. That tax credit expires next year. I want to make that savings permanent. To state the obvious, women are more than half our population. But research on women's health has always been underfunded. That's why we're launching the first ever White House initiative on women's health research, led by Jill, doing an incredible job as First Lady. We'll pass my plan for $12 billion to transfer women's health research and benefit millions of lives all across America. I know the cost of housing is so important to you. If inflation keeps coming down, mortgage rates will come down as well, and the Fed acknowledges that. But I'm not waiting. I want to provide an annual tax credit that will give Americans $400 a month for the next 2 years as mortgage rates come down, to put toward their mortgages when they buy their first home or trade up for a little more space. Just for 2 years. And my administration is also eliminating title insurance on federally backed mortgages. When you refinance your home, you can save $1,000 or more as a consequence. For millions of renters, we're cracking down on big landlords who use antitrust law, who break antitrust laws by price fixing and driving up rents. We've cut red tape so builders can get federally financing, which is already helping build a record 1.7 million new housing units nationwide. Now pass and build and renovate 2 million affordable homes and bring those rents down. To remain the strongest economy in the world, we need to have the best education system in the world. And I suspect all of you, want to give every child, a good start by providing access to preschool for 3 and 4 years old. You know, I think I pointed out last year that children coming from broken homes where there's no books, they're not read to, not spoken to very often, start school, kindergarten, or first grade, having heard 1 million fewer words spoken. Well, studies show that children who go to preschool are nearly 50 more likely to finish high school, go on to earn a 2- and 4-year degree, no matter what their background is. I met a year and a half ago with the leaders of the Business Roundtable. They were mad that they were angry. I think, well, they were discussing why I wanted to spend money on education. I pointed out to them as vice president, I met with over I think it was 182 of those folks. Don't hold me to the exact number. And I asked them what they need most, CEOs. And you've had the same experience on both sides of the aisle. They say a better educated workforce, right? So I looked at them and I say, I come from Delaware. DuPont used to be the 8th largest corporation in the world. And every new enterprise they bought, they educated the workforce of that enterprise. But none of you do that anymore. Why are you angry with me providing you the opportunity for the best educated workforce in the world? And they all looked at me and said, I think you're right. I want to expand high-quality tutoring and summer learning to see that every child learns to read by 3rd grade. I'm also connecting local businesses and high schools so students get hands-on experience and a path to a good-paying job, whether or not they go to college. And I want to make sure that college is more affordable. Let's continue increasing the Pell Grants to working and middle-class families and increase record investments in HBCUs and minority-serving institutions, including Hispanic institutions. When I was told I couldn't universally just change the way in which we dealt with student loans, I fixed 2 student loan programs that already existed, reduced the burden of student debt for nearly 4 million Americans, including nurses, firefighters, and others in public service. Like Keenan Jones, a public educator from Minnesota, who's here with us tonight. Keenan, where are you? Keenan, thank you. He's educated hundreds of students so they can go to college. Now he's able to help out debt forgiveness get his own daughter to college. And folks, look, such relief is good for the economy because folks are now able to buy a home, start a business, start a family. While we're at it, I want to give public school teachers a raise. And by the way, the first couple of years, we cut the deficit. Now, let me speak to the question of fundamental fairness for all Americans. I've been delivering real results in fiscally responsible ways. We've already cut the federal deficit. We've already cut the federal deficit over $1 trillion. I signed the bipartisan deal to cut another $1 trillion in the It's my goal to cut the federal deficit another $3 trillion by making big corporations and very wealthy finally beginning to pay their fair share. Look, I'm a capitalist. If you want to make or can make $1 million or millions of bucks, that's great. Just pay your fair share in taxes. A fair tax code is how we invest things to make this country great. Healthcare, education, defense, and so much more. But here's the deal. The last administration enacted a $2 trillion tax cut, overwhelmingly benefit the topping 1%, the very wealthy and the biggest corporations, and exploded the federal deficit. They added more to the national debt than any presidential term in American history. Check the numbers. Folks at home, does anybody really think the tax code is fair? Do you really think the wealthy and big corporations need another $2 trillion tax break? I sure don't. I'm going to keep fighting like hell to make it fair. Under my plan, nobody earning less than $400,000 a year will pay additional penny in federal taxes. Nobody, not one penny. And they haven't yet. In fact, the child tax credit I passed during the pandemic cut taxes for millions of working families and cut child poverty in half. Restore that child tax credit. No child should go hungry in this country. The way to make the tax code fair is to make big corporations and the very wealthy begin to pay their fair share. Remember in 2020, 55 of the big companies in America made $40 billion and paid zero in federal income tax. Zero. Not anymore. Thanks to the law I wrote and we signed, big companies have to pay a minimum of 15%. But that's still less than working people pay in federal taxes. It's time to raise corporate minimum tax to at least 21%. So every big corporation finally begins to pay their fair share. I also want to add tax breaks for big pharma, big oil, private jets, massive executive pay when it's only supposed to be $1 million to be deducted. They can pay them $20 million if they want, deduct $1 million. End it now. You know, there are 1,000 billionaires in America. You know what the average federal tax is for those billionaires? No. They're making great sacrifices, 8.2%. That's far less than the vast majority of Americans pay. No billionaire should pay a lower federal tax rate than a teacher, a sanitation worker, or a nurse. Propose a minimum tax for billionaires at 25%, just 25%. You know what that would raise? That would raise $500 billion over the next 10 years. And imagine what that could do for America. Imagine if with affordable child care, millions of families can get they need to go to work, help grow the economy. Imagine the future with paid leave, because no one should have to choose between working and taking care of their sick family member. Imagine the future of home care and elder care and people living with disabilities so they can stay in their homes and family caregivers can finally get the pay they deserve. Tonight, let's all agree once again to stand up for seniors. Many of my friends on the other side of the aisle want to put Social Security on the chopping block. If anyone here tries to cut Social Security, Medicare, or raise the retirement age, I will stop you. The working people who built this country pay more into Social Security than millionaires and billionaires do. It's not fair. We have two ways to go. Republicans can cut Social Security and give more tax breaks to the wealthy. That's the proposal. Oh no, you guys don't want another $2 trillion tax cut? I kind of thought that's what your plan was. Well, that's good to hear. You're not going to cut another $2 trillion for the super wealthy. That's good to hear. I'll protect and strengthen Social Security and make the wealthy pay their fair share. Look, too many corporations raise prices to pad their profits, charging more and more for less and less. That's why it's cracking down on corporations that engage in price gouging and deceptive pricing, from food to healthcare to housing. In fact, the snack companies think you won't notice if they change the size of the bag and put a hell of a lot fewer, same size bag, put fewer chips in it. No, I'm not joking. It's called shrinkflation. Pass Bobby Casey's bill and stop this. I really mean it. You probably all saw that commercial on Snickers bars. And you get charged the same amount, and you get about, I don't know, 10% fewer Snickers in it. Look, I'm also getting rid of junk fees. Those hidden fees at the end of your bill that are there without your knowledge. My administration announced we're cutting credit card late fees from $32 to $8. Banks and credit card companies are allowed to charge what it costs them to instigate the collection. And that's more a hell lot like $8 and 30-some dollars. They don't like it. The credit card companies don't like it. But I'm saving American families $20 billion a year with all the junk fees I'm eliminating. Folks at home, that's why the banks are so mad. It's $20 billion in profit. I'm not stopping there. My administration has proposed rules to make cable, travel, utilities, and online ticket sellers tell you the total price up front so there are no surprises. It matters. It matters. And so does this. In November, my team began serious negotiation with a bipartisan group of senators. The result was a bipartisan bill with the toughest set of border security reforms we've ever seen. Oh, you don't think so? Oh, you don't like that bill, huh? That conservatives got together and said it was a good bill? I'll be darned. That's amazing. That bipartisan bill would hire 1,500 more security agents and officers, 100 more immigration judges to help tackle the backload of 2 million cases, 4,300 more. 100 more high-tech drug detection machines to significantly increase the ability to screen and stop vehicles smuggling fentanyl into America. That's killing thousands of children. This bill would save lives and order the border. It will also give me and any new president new emergency authority to temporarily shut down the border when the number of migrants at the border is overwhelming. The Border Patrol has endorsed this bill. The Federal Chamber of Commerce, yeah. You can low. Look at the facts. I know you know how to read. I believe that given the opportunity for a majority in the House and Senate would endorse the bill as well, majority right now. But unfortunately, politics has derailed this bill so far. I'm told my predecessor called members of Congress and the Senate to demand they block the bill. He feels political win. He viewed it as a political win for me and a political loser for him. It's not about him. It's not about me. I'd be a winner, not really. Lincoln Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal. That's right. But how many of thousands of people being killed by illegals? To her parents, I say, my heart goes out to you, having lost children myself. I understand. But look, if we change the dynamic at the border, people pay these smugglers $8,000 to get across the border because they know they get by. They get by and get into the country. It's 6 to 8 years before they have a hearing. And it's worth taking a chance of the $8,000. But if it's only 6 months, 6 weeks, the idea is it's highly unlikely that people will pay that money and come all that way knowing that they'll be able to be kicked out quickly. Folks, I respectfully suggest my Republican friends owe it to the American people. Get this bill done. We need to act now. And my predecessors watched, instead of paying politics and pressuring members of Congress to block the bill, join me in telling the Congress to pass it. We can do it together. But here's what he will not do. I will not demonize immigrants saying they are poison in the blood of our country. I will not separate families. I will not ban people because of their faith. Unlike my predecessor on my first day in office, I introduced a comprehensive bill to fix our immigration system. Take a look at it. It has all these and more. Secure the border, provide a pathway to citizenship for dreamers, and so much more. But unlike my predecessor, I know who we are as Americans. We're the only nation in the world, heart and soul that draws from old and new. Home to Native Americans, whose ancestors have been here for thousands of years. Home to people of from every place on earth. They came freely. Some came in chains. Some came when famine struck, like my ancestral family in Ireland. Some to flee persecution, to chase dreams that are impossible anywhere but here in America. That's America. And we all come from somewhere, but we're all Americans. Look, folks, we have a simple choice. We can fight about fixing the border, or we can fix it. I'm ready to fix it. Send me the border bill now. A transformational moment in history happened 59 years ago today in Selma, Alabama. Hundreds of foot soldiers for justice marched across the Edmund Pettus Bridge, named after the Grand Dragon of the Ku Klux Klan, to claim their fundamental right to vote. They were beaten, they were bloody, and left for dead. Our late friend and former colleague, John Lewis, was on that march. We miss him. Joining us tonight are other marchers, both in the gallery and on the floor, including Betty Mae Fikes, known as the Voice of Selma, the daughter of gospel singers and preachers. She sang songs of prayer and protest on that bloody Sunday to help shake the nation's conscience. 5 months later, the Voting Rights Act passed and was signed into law. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But 59 years later, there are forces taking us back in time. Voter suppression, election subversion, unlimited dark money, extreme gerrymandering. John Lewis is a great friend to many of us here, but if you truly want to honor him and all the heroes who marched with him, then it's time to do more than talk. Pass the Freedom to Vote Act, John Lewis Voting Rights Act. Stop denying another core value of America, our diversity across American life. Banning books, it's wrong. Instead of erasing it, let's make history. I want to protect fundamental rights. Pass the Equality Act. And my message to transgender Americans, I have your back. Pass the PRO Act, workers' rights. Raise the federal minimum wage, because every worker has a right to a decent living more than $7 an hour. We're also making history by confronting the climate crisis, not denying it. I don't think any of you think there's no longer a climate crisis. At least I hope you don't. I'm taking the most significant action ever on climate in the history of the world. I'm cutting our carbon emissions in half by 2030, creating tens of thousands of clean energy jobs like the IBEW workers building and installing 500,000 electric vehicle charging stations. Conserve 30% of America's land and waters by 2030. And taking action on environmental justice, fence line communities smothered by a legacy of pollution. And pattern after the Peace Corps and AmeriCorps, I launched the Climate Corps to put 20,000 young people to work in the forefront of our clean energy future. I'll triple that number in a decade. To state the obvious, all Americans deserve freedom to be safe. And Americans see today that when I took office, year before I took office, murder rates went up 30%. 30% went up. The biggest increase in history. It was then, through my American Rescue Plan, which every American voted against, I might add, we made the largest investment in public safety ever. Last year, the murder rate saw the sharpest decrease in history. Violent crime fell to one of its lowest levels in more than 50 years. But we have more to do. We have to help cities invest in more community police officers, more mental health workers, more community violence intervention. Give communities the tool to crack down on gun crime, retail crime, and carjacking. Keep building trust, as I've been doing, by taking executive action on police reform and calling for the law of the land, directing my cabinet to review the federal classification of marijuana and expunging thousands of convictions for the mere possession, because no one should be jailed for simply using or have it on their record. Take on crimes of domestic violence. I'm ramping up the Federal Enforcement of the Violence Against Women Act that I proudly wrote when I was a senator, so we can finally end the scourge against women in America. There are other kinds of violence I want to stop. With us tonight is Jasmine, whose 9-year-old sister Jackie was murdered. 21 classmates and teachers in elementary school in Uvalde, Texas. Very soon after that happened, Jill and I went to Uvalde for a couple of days. We spent hours and hours with each of the families. We heard their message, so everyone in this room, in this chamber, could hear the same message. The constant refrain, and I was there for hours meeting with every family. They said, do something. Do something. Well, I did do something by establishing the first ever Office of Gun Violence Prevention in the White House, that the Vice President is leading the charge. Thank you for doing it. Meanwhile, my predecessor told the NRA he's proud he did nothing on guns when he was president. Oh. After another shooting in Iowa recently, he said, when asked what to do about it, he said, just get over it. There's his quote, just get over it. I say, stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it. I'm proud to beat the NRA when I signed a significant gun safety law in nearly 30 years because of this Congress. We now must beat the NRA again. I'm demanding a ban on assault weapons and high-capacity magazines. Pass universal background checks. None of this. None of this. I took the Second Amendment for 12 years. None of this violates the Second Amendment or vilifies responsible gun owners. You know, as we manage challenges at home, we're also managing crises abroad, including in the Middle East. I know the last 5 months have been gut-wrenching for so many people, for the Israeli people, for the Palestinian people, and so many here in America. This crisis began on October 7th with a massacre by a terrorist group, Hamas, as you all know. 1,200 innocent people, women and girls, men and boys, slaughtered after enduring sexual violence. The deadliest day for the Jewish people since the Holocaust. 250 hostages taken. Here in this chamber tonight are families whose loved ones are still being held by Hamas. I pledge to all the families that we will not rest until we bring every one of your loved ones home. We also work around the clock to bring home Evan and Paul, Americans being unjustly detained by the Russians and others around the world. Israel has the right to go after Hamas. Hamas ended this conflict by releasing hostages, laying down arms, could end it by releasing hostages, laying down arms, and surrendering those responsible for October 7th. But Israel has Israel has a added burden because Hamas hides and operates among the civilian population like cowards, under hospitals, daycare centers, and all the like. Israel also has a fundamental responsibility, though, to protect innocent civilians in Gaza. This war has taken a greater toll on innocent civilians than all previous wars in Gaza combined. More than 30,000 Palestinians have been killed, most of whom are not Hamas. Thousands and thousands of innocent women and children, girls and boys, also orphaned. There are 2 million more Palestinians under bombardment or displacement. Homes destroyed, neighborhoods in rubble, cities in ruin, families without food, water, medicine. It's heartbreaking. I've been working nonstop to establish an immediate ceasefire that would last for 6 weeks to get all the prisoners released, all the hostages released, to get the hostages home and ease the intolerable humanitarian crisis and build toward an enduring, something more enduring. The United States has been leading international efforts to get more humanitarian assistance in Gaza. Tonight, I'm directing the U.S. military to lead an emergency mission to establish a temporary pier in the Mediterranean on the coast of Gaza that can receive large shipments carrying food, water, medicine, and temporary shelters. No U.S. boots will be on the ground. A temporary pier will enable a massive increase in humanitarian assistance getting into Gaza every day. I think they're going to have a crossing in northern Gaza. To the leadership of Israel, I say this: humanitarian assistance cannot be a secondary consideration or a bargaining chip. Protecting and saving innocent lives has to be a priority. And look to the future. The only real solution to the situation is a two-state solution over time. And I say this as a lifelong supporter of Israel. My entire career, no one has a stronger record with Israel than I do. I challenge any of you here. I'm the only American president of Israel in wartime. But there is no other path that guarantees Israel's security and democracy. There is no other path that guarantees Palestinians can live in peace with peace and dignity. And there's no path that guarantees peace between Israel and all of its neighbors, including Saudi Arabia, with whom I'm talking. Creating stability in the Middle East also means containing the threat posed by Iran. That's why I built a coalition of more than a dozen countries to defend international shipping and freedom of navigation in the Red Sea. I've ordered strikes to degrade the Houthi capability to defend U.S. forces in the region. As Commander-in-Chief, I will not hesitate to direct further measures to protect our people and our military personnel. For years, I've heard many of my Republican and Democratic friends say that China is on the rise and America is falling behind. They've got it backwards. I've been saying it for over 4 years, even when I wasn't president. America is rising. We have the best economy in the world. And since I've come to office, our GDP is up, our trade deficit with China is down to the lowest point in over a decade. We're standing up against China's unfair economic practices. We're standing up for peace and stability across the Taiwan Straits. I've revitalized our partnership and alliance in the Pacific. India, Australia, Japan, South Korea, Pacific Islands. I've made sure that the most advanced American technologies can't be used in China, not allowing to trade them there. Frankly, for all this tough talk on China, it never occurred to my predecessor to do any of that. I want competition with China, not conflict. And we're in a stronger position to win the conflict of the 21st century against China than anyone else, for that matter, than any time as well. Here at home, I've signed over 400 bipartisan bills, but there's more to pass my unity agenda. Strengthen penalties on fentanyl trafficking. You don't want to do that, huh? Pass bipartisan privacy legislation to protect our children in the line. Harness the promise of AI to protect us from peril. AI voice impersonations and more. And keep our truly sacred obligation to train and equip those we send into harm's way and care for them and their families when they come home, when they don't. That's why the song Support and Help of Dennis and the VA, I signed the PACT Act. One of the most significant laws ever, helping millions of veterans exposed to toxins who now are battling more than 100 different cancers. Many of them don't come home, but we owe them and their families support. We owe it to ourselves to keep supporting our new health research agency called ARPA-H. And remind us that we can do big things like end cancer as we know it, and we will. Let me close with this. Yay. I know you don't want to hear any more, Lindsay, but I got to say a few more things. I know it may not look like it, but I've been around a while. When you get to be my age, certain things become clearer than ever. I know the American story. Again and again, I've seen the contest between competing forces in the battle for the soul of our nation. Between those who want to pull America back to the past and those who want to move America into the future. My lifetime has taught me to embrace freedom and democracy, a future based on core values that defined America: honesty, decency, dignity, equality, to respect everyone, to give everyone a fair shot, to give hate no safe harbor. Now, other people my age see it differently. American story of resentment, revenge, and retribution. That's not me. I was born amid World War II, when America stood for the freedom of the world. I grew up in Scranton, Pennsylvania, Claymont, Delaware, among working-class people who built this country. I watched in horror as two of my heroes, like many of you did, Dr. King and Bobby Kennedy, were assassinated. A legacy that inspired me to pursue a career in service. I left the law firm, became a public defender because my city of Wilmington was the only city in America occupied by the National Guard after Dr. King was assassinated because of the riots. And I became a county councilman almost by accident. I got elected to the United States Senate when I had no intention of running at age 29. Then vice president, or our first black president. Now president of the first women vice president. In my career, I've been told I was too young. By the way, they're going to let me on ascending elevators for votes sometime. Not a joke. And I've been told I'm too old. Whether young or old, I've always known what endures. I've known our North Star. The very idea of America is that we're all created equal. It deserves to be treated equally throughout our lives. We've never fully lived up to that idea, but we've never walked away from it either. And I won't walk away from it now. I'm optimistic. I really am. I'm optimistic, Nancy. My fellow Americans, the issue facing our nation isn't how old we are, it's how old are our ideas. Hate and retribution are the oldest of ideas, but you can't lead America with ancient ideas that only take us back. You lead America, the land of possibilities. You need a vision for the future and what can and should be done. Tonight you've heard mine. I see a future where defending democracy, you don't diminish it. I see a future where we restore the right to choose and protect our freedoms, not take them away. I see a future where the middle class finally has a fair shot and the wealthy have to pay their fair share in taxes. I see a future where we save the planet from the climate crisis and our country from gun violence. Above all, I see a future for all Americans. I see a country for all Americans. And I will always be president for all Americans because I believe in America. I believe in you, the American people. You're the reason we've never been more optimistic about our future than I am now. So let's build the future together. Let's remember who we are. We are the United States of America. And there is nothing beyond our capacity when we act together. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Turn that down as the guy walk off the stage. So, gone 11, Renaissance man. So, what did you think about the actual speech so far?
Yeah. MOT, that was me and Nagone were talking offline. In my opinion, that was a mic drop. That is one of the best speeches he's given, in my opinion.
In a while.
Yeah, he came out. I read I read an article earlier saying that he was going to be pretty fiery in the speech, and he definitely did that. And I think he dispelled some of the ageism. He showed that he can still have a lot of energy. He gave probably a good hour-long speech. Did not really stumble a bunch. Yeah, I definitely think you should see some. I don't know how many people watched it, but I definitely think people who are the pundits, the talk circuit, as well as they will definitely give him high marks on this speech, and I think you should even see some changes him move up in the polls from if enough people will view him.
Yeah, but you got a president where he's at, and the other guy's ducking felonies. He ducked literal due process. Literal due process. And he's trying to duck due process by claiming that he has immunity. Like, I don't think people know how this dude is about to lose in November. He doesn't have the coalition that he had in 2016. He doesn't have it.
Yeah, to be honest with you, MOT, the only negative that I can really think of is that he did not talk about a permanent ceasefire or demand one.
He can't. Yeah. Run the politics over here. Like, bro, you get paid $10 million to run against anybody who they don't want in office. Yeah. Like, that's a failing of the United States government allowing that shit to happen. Yeah. It isn't Israel. It's the fact that they decided that, look, we're going to come in here and we're just going to buy up everybody.
Yeah, because I was going to say that was the only, literally, that's the only, like I said, drawback on the speech I can think of. Like I said, and he did push for, a 6-week one. So, but everything from, calling these people out, I was telling the Gone, we were talking about it, you need to call out the IDF situation.
Yeah.
These crazy judges down in Alabama.
Yeah.
He had someone there.
He should have called out, Wisconsin, Louisiana. He put Alabama a little bit, but
he put abortion back on the ballot. He did all those things. I think that they needed. The Democrats brought up COVID. That was huge. I thought bringing up COVID and how Trump just dropped the ball completely.
He had to bring that up because he had to show the incompetence of the leader before. He's not president because of that. And people want to say, okay, COVID's over, but hold on one second. That had a huge effect on the country. So he had to bring that up. I think tonight the president did a pretty good job in just overall kind of laying out his plan and kind of and he was coming directly at the Republicans tonight. He came at them. We're definitely going to see a bump as far as how people see him after this. And he's going to have to continue to really press the message. But I think for the first time that we've seen with Trump running around and doing all his stuff, here the president came in here with the bully pulpit, of which he has, and came out here and kind of started to lay the plan down a little bit, of which he kind of had to do politically. I think he was fairly successful in that tonight.
Yeah. What grade do you give him, Gone?
Huh?
Yeah, grades.
What grade?
From an A, B, C, or D? You gonna say?
Yeah.
A plus, A minus, B plus, B minus. So let's go with it.
Right now, I'm going to give him a solid B. A solid B here. A solid B. Maybe a little bit better, but a solid B. It was something that it needed to be done. So that's what I would give him tonight. Would I give would I go a little bit higher? I would have to go 85, maybe a little bit above, but somewhere in that range. Some people may give him an A. There are a couple of small things I would like him to have kind of gotten to a little bit more of, but that's kind of where I'm at on him. I think he's gonna have the Republicans backing up, and there's some people who are not going to I don't know to like what happened tonight. They're going to be.
AB Media's here, man.
Yeah, he's not gonna like it.
I want to drop the link. If somebody could repost the link from earlier, let him come up and try to explain himself. That would be
Yeah. Nagone, I actually, I'm one of those people. I would actually give him an A. I would give him probably a solid 94.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I think he really. The main thing for me is he covered so much.
Yeah, he covered it. Yeah.
He brought up child tax credit. He brought up voting rights. He was calling Trump out on the border. I mean, he touched a lot of stuff. Which Democrats really have been going after people. If I were me, if I were him, I would even gone after some of these crazy governors. You know, this guy Mark Robinson, who's going to be running for governor in North Carolina. And, these people in Oklahoma wanting to set up a database for women having abortions. I would have gone after, but he did so good. He did really well talking about about like freedom. Like, hey, people coming after your freedom, people coming after your rights. Like I said, that's why I think he covered a lot, and that's been my frustration with Democrats is they haven't been calling these people out. They haven't been really championing, their wins, and I think they did that. I think he did that really well tonight.
I would have. I would agree. I think he did. I think he did what he had to do. It was he kind of set things off. So I think that was important. He kind of put this ship, like I said, in the right direction, moving it forward, and he was, and he came off strong tonight. He definitely was presidential. So I look at these. How would I say? I've seen many of these State of the Union addresses. So I thought he was actually pretty good. Like I said, an A. Yeah, you might be. It's difficult. I got to listen to it a little bit again and pick up a few things as well. But I think overall it was definitely a very solid performance. And I think I think it's pretty clear he's going to get another term. But let's see how things do shape up further. But I thought he did a pretty good job.
I think that's a tip. That's a tip to his speechwriter for writing a really, really good speech. But he came with the energy. That's the one thing is that people have always sort of talked about. Biden's low energy. This and that. He brought some energy. He brought some fire, and he hit some points. So I said, I think he did pretty well.
Yeah. He hit on the key points,
especially for his age.
Yeah, no, I think he had a lot of energy. He's a fighter. Remember he's an old football player and all that kind of thing. So he's coming at it from that perspective. He understood that there was a lot riding on him tonight. If he came out there looking real messed up and really having a bad night, coming off out front, things would have gone poorly for him. He made sure that didn't happen. He wasn't flubbing, looking crazy, sounding crazy. Looking sharp. And stood forward, and and the carnival barkers in the crowd, he was entertaining them a little bit, saying, "Okay, what are you guys talking about? What are you guys going to put on the table?" And was kind of coming at them a little bit.
No policies.
Yeah. Coming at them, and they were just carnival barking and had that monkey
giving them that MOT work. I couldn't type in the chat for a while, and I just started asking people simple questions. Well, you can't answer them. You can fucking go, man. You gotta go.
No. MOT, you were flat out erasing folks tonight. It was pretty funny. But you gotta expect the trolls and others to come out. That's expected. So I mean, I would have even let them hang in there for a little bit. My view, but I understand exactly how you run your channel and what's going on, and I'm with it. But you got to expect some trolls to come rolling through. But I think tonight he did push his thing. He did come out and lay out what he was going to do, what he was looking to do for the next term, what he achieved, what they are definitely planning to do, and how getting into the minutia details, how he's going to do it, policy and all. But he understands and threw down the gauntlet to the Republicans too. Hey, listen, we've got a border bill. We got a lot of things coming up. I need your support. You're going to be in. Put them on.
But Trump destroyed the last border bill. He made them turn their backs on it. And it's like, Can you like okay if the border was this much of a deal? Like I think when people complain about the border, I think they're some of the dumbest motherfuckers on the planet, the most underserved, the most unskilled motherfuckers on the planet. Like, look, I don't give a fuck about motherfuckers who care about the border like that. At the end of the day, you're just saying that look, those low wage jobs are going to other people that's supposed to be reserved for me, and it's like if you're competing with somebody who just got here who's sleeping on a gymnasium floor, what have you done with the rest of your life before this immigration issue is becoming an actual real issue? You know? And as for AB Media, hey bro, I'm gonna be in Indianapolis this weekend. I'm going to go see Bill Burr Saturday night at 7:30. What's going on? What's going on? Yo City. Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So,
yeah. The other,
Mr.
I was gonna
G,
say,
1804, he dropped 2 super chats. They were telling him he on fire tonight. Of course they did. And the second super chat he sent was this right here. My predecessor was strategic in this speech. Yes, he was. He was. And at the end of the day,
and MOT. The other thing is too, you could even see Mike Johnson's face turning red on some of this stuff.
oh yeah,
Like and
yeah.
like you could even see like he landed some punches. Like, yeah, that's we can't really lie. We are trying to give
But he had to
billions of
do that
dollars.
though. He had to do that. He had to do that.
Yeah. He could. He's like, dude. He's like, he couldn't hide it. Like I said, he landed some punches tonight.
Who is this woman with the actual gray hair here? Man, bro, she had like the mean mom for everybody. All right.
And I think MOT. I think Marjorie Taylor Greene looked like a clown.
Oh gosh, she did. Cause she
Like,
wasn't like that. She wasn't like that earlier. They focused on her twice. They focused on Lon Burbert. She didn't look like the same person because she had her hair completely up. Her hair wasn't down at all, but you could tell it was her. I expected her to be acting a fool during the speech. She didn't say shit.
yeah, Marjorie Taylor, like, because if you look at the crowd, like everyone else is in their business suits, business casual, and you in there with some MAGA hat on, just looking like you don't even really belong in the place to begin with. Yelling is
but her, she's trying to like raise funds and like I'm gonna be in here with my MAGA hat no matter what. And it's
but even here's
the thing.
Crazy. But even here's the thing: you didn't even have people like Matt Gaetz in there doing stuff like that, or Lauren Boebert. She's the only one that's in here looking crazy.
End of the day, we gotta wait for this Republican response. That's what we're waiting on now. That's coming up because you gotta see what was just said, and you gotta hear this craziness that's about to come out of somebody's mouth. And you got to be able to compare the two speeches and conversation what's going on. So when people talk about, oh, I can't afford shit, fuck your life. I don't care what you can and can't afford. This shit was a problem before this administration. You was unskilled before then. That's going to be solved now for you. I ain't trying to hear that shit. Go on, DC. DC in the building.
Yo, DC, man, come on up, man. Come on up on the panel, bro. Just for a minute.
Yeah, I dropped the link again for DC. I dropped it for Cyclops. He didn't want to come up, but I dropped it again for DC.
Yo, MOT, drop the link one more time, man.
Yeah, I just did. And I just want to see the culture work group try to cover this speech and try to give ex-president insurrection some props of some kind, man. I would love to see that. But, that's just, I don't think it's gonna happen. So for his actual speech, I know the grades that we give him. What was the best part of the speech and what was the worst part of the speech to go?
Repeat that again, MOT. I'm sorry.
What was the best part of the speech and the worst part of the speech for you?
I don't think he really had any real serious low points. I think, looking at his speech where I thought he was strongest is when he really kind of came out and really started talking about his overall policies that were successful, the jobs, how things were improving in the country, how he brought in more manufacturing jobs and so forth. He really started,
and especially in the South. Like what he doesn't take credit for, he brought a lot of manufacturing down to the South. I'm talking about Ohio. We're talking about Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi. There really ain't shit going on in Arkansas, Georgia. Those areas have had huge manufacturing gains when he came into office.
Exactly correct. Those are the key policy points that he was bringing up in his speech. That he had to look to deliver on. As president, those are the things that he spoke about. With that, he was successful. He highlighted his successes as he's supposed to do. Very correct. He was strong. He was aggressive. He came out aggressively. I thought he was aggressive. I think maybe the most where he had to tiptoe a little bit and be careful was certainly dealing with the Israeli piece and the war there. He did speak, strong and they put a unified front up for the Ukraine. That's kind of where people are at this stage. So I didn't really see a tremendous amount of weakness in this speech. I think this was very solid performance. Which kind of lets me, which kind of tells you this is the president. This is the president right here. So that was, he had to establish that here today, and he did come at the opposition. He came at them. I thought he was very strategic. I think somebody else mentioned that in the chat how he did not call out Trump, but what did we say? My predecessor and so forth. So he didn't even make sure he turned away from that and focused on himself, of which was absolutely correct. And MOT, I cannot say I saw a lot of a tremendous downside on this night here tonight. I can't say I saw a lot of that. I'm having a hard time really kind of trying to identify where that really was. I didn't really see that much. I didn't see that. But anyway, that's my breakdown on it. I don't know what Renaissance Man thinks.
Yeah.
Highs and lowest.
Yeah, I think the highs. There were several highs. I think him putting abortion back on the ballot, bringing up IVF, bringing up Roe v. Wade. That was a high point because at that point you're talking about basically attacking half the country, maybe even more than half technically. If you look at the demographics, and then on top of that, I think him bringing up January 6th, I think that was huge. Really bringing that up to highlight that, as well as I think what was it? There was a third one. January 6th, the abortion, and there was one other area I think he really bringing up like freedom and voting rights. I think those things were all huge. Bringing up those topics. Like I said, I think the only thing that he really you could draw back is just having to kind of tiptoe around Israel.
Yeah. I mean, everyone has to. I mean, that's the way it is. Everyone has to. But people are talking, how come he couldn't do this? I'm like, do you realize the George W. Bush administration, what happened during that conflict, several conflicts under a Republican presidency? Like, people don't even understand the history of it. They're like, I don't want war. Like, you don't want war, but you didn't say shit during the Iraq War and the Afghanistan War, but now you don't give a fuck about the war that's going on. It's like people don't even have an understanding of how any of this stuff works. And it's like, a lot of these people don't even care about these issues. Go on, Jay Shine.
Yeah. The other thing MOT I was going to add was when he brought up the deficit. talking about how
Yes.
like Trump and that added so much to the deficit versus how they've taken it down $1 trillion. Yeah. And the response is going on right now.
People were so quiet. They were so quiet across the crowd. You heard nothing. You seen facial expressions kind of pressed into the dirt. No one said anything. And at the end of the day, I think it's a look. If you're gonna go over there and get something on the Republican side, good for you. But at the end of the day, that's the side that you chose, and you got to work with those people. We know we're on the side that works, the shit work side. So I don't fault you for being over there, but at the end of the day, if you are over there, make sure you get something.
Yeah,
To be
MOT.
able to negotiate with us with it.
Yeah, you know the response is going on right now.
Yeah, I'm looking at this Senator Katie Britt. She looks soft like a Twinkie filling, but I definitely
Whoa, what channel?
I was looking at MSNBC.
Yeah, same here.
Wait, hold on. Let me go to MSNBC.
Yeah, Nagone, you could tell she's kind of been put in. They're definitely trying to send a message. They got this woman in the kitchen, she's trying to, present that all like housewife type of discussion. They're trying to appeal to these suburban women.
They're trying to appeal to the suburban women.
Hold on.
She's got the housewife school teacher look. Anyway, all right. Go ahead.
You still there, Nagone?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm still here.
I'm watching. She's sounding almost like Sarah Palin.
Yeah, she is. I mean, she's trying to say, when at the end of the day, it was your man's Trumpy, baby, who helped to create this crisis. This was the whole thing. But anyway, she's over here upset. She's tight. I'm just sitting here looking at this right now, and I want to hear the whole response. But she is they got her. They gotta get ready. They gotta get ready to cry up in here right now. They think they got they need a real emotional response. That's what they're going for. So
yeah. Like when I saw because she's one of the youngest Republicans from I think maybe youngest senator from Alabama. So they're definitely, like I said, trying to play to like housewives and like I said,
yes,
teacher, all of that.
Yes,
because the rest of some of these animals they got out here. You putting them on a response speech, they'll come out here looking real. Basically, if you look too aggressive, so
they'll be looking crazy. They'll be out here looking crazy like they are because they'll be looking crazy. Now they're bringing her in because they figure she's the safest choice and giving it and to give like you're saying give that middle American woman response. And
it's a way to like lighten the blow. It's hey, let's say some harsh stuff that really would look bad, coming out of some of these other people. So like you said, let's get this middle America housewife type of woman to go up here and really throw this stuff out there.
And they got the kitchen, in the background and all that. Okay.
Of the illegal Holocausters, President Biden chose to release into our homeland.
Okay, now you see what she's talking about. They don't want to take responsibility for not accepting the border bill that my man laid down, and she's trying to put them on the defense. So this is her putting them on the defense right now.
President Biden finally said her name. But he refused to take responsibility for his own actions. Mr. President, enough is enough. Innocent Americans are dying, and you only have yourself to blame. Fulfill your oath of office. Reverse your policies. End this crisis and stop the suffering. Sadly,
Jay Shine.
His reckless spending dug our economy into a hole and sent the cost of living through the roof. We have the worst inflation.
Fact check this girl. Fact check.
In our nation's history. Let that sink in. Hardworking families are struggling to make ends meet today. And with soaring mortgage rates and sky-high childcare costs.
Oh wait, you cut out, or you had we could hear in the background the gun.
You're gone. Keep going.
Oh, you want me to keep it going? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
We know better. I'll never forget stopping at a gas station in Chilton County one evening. The gentleman working the counter told me that after retiring, he had to pick up a job in his 70s so that he didn't have to choose between going hungry or going without his medication. He said, I did everything right. I did everything I was told to do. I worked hard, I saved, I was responsible. He's not alone. I hear similar concerns from fellow parents, whether I am walking.
Got it. I got life.
My kids' game.
You got.
You want me to cut it? I cut it. No problem. I'll cut it.
My kids' games. But let's be honest, it's a minute since Joe Biden pumped gas, ran a carpool, or even pushed a grocery cart. Meanwhile, the rest of us see our dollar and we know it doesn't go as far. We see it every day. And despite what he tells you, our communities are not safer. For years, the left has coddled criminals and defunded the police, all while letting repeat offenders walk free. The result is tragic, but foreseeable. From our small towns to America's most iconic city streets, life is getting more and more dangerous. And unfortunately, President Biden's weakness isn't just hurting families here at home. He is making us a punchline on the world stage. Look, where I'm from, your word is your bond. But for 3 years, the president has demonstrated that America's word doesn't mean what it used to. From abandoning our allies in his disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan to desperately pushing another dangerous deal with Iran. President Biden has failed. We've become a nation in retreat, and the enemies of freedom, they see an opportunity. Putin's brutal aggression in Europe has put our allies on the brink. Iran's terrorist proxies have slaughtered Israeli, Jews, and American citizens. They've targeted commercial shipping, and they've attacked our troops nearly 200 times since October, killing 3 U.S. soldiers and 2 Navy SEALs. Meanwhile, the Chinese Communist Party is undercutting America's workers. China is buying up our farmland, spying on our military installations, and spreading propaganda through the likes of TikTok. CCP knows that if it conquers the minds of our next generation, it conquers America. And what does President Biden do? Well, he bans TikTok for government employees, but creates an account for his own campaign. Y'all, you can make this stuff up. And
this is their response. This is their response, y'all.
They're going. Go cook, man.
That seems like ancient history. Right now, our commander-in-chief is not in command. The free world deserves better than a dithering, diminished leader. America deserves leaders who recognize that secure borders, stable prices, safe streets, and a strong defense are actually the cornerstones of a great nation. Just ask yourself, are you better off now than you were 3 years ago? There's no doubt we're at a crossroads, and it doesn't have to be this way. We all feel it. But here's the good news. We, the people, are still in the driver's seat. We get to decide whether our future will grow brighter or whether we'll settle for an America in decline. Well, I know which choice our children deserve, and I know the Republican Party. We are the party of hard-working parents and families, and we want to give you and your children the opportunities to thrive. And we want families to grow. It's why we strongly support continued nationwide access to in vitro fertilization. We want to help loving moms and dads bring precious life into this world.
If you took it away.
Wesley and I believe there is no greater blessing in life.
Who the fuck is Wesley?
And that's why tonight, I want to make a direct appeal to the parents out there, and in particular to my fellow moms, many of whom I know will be up tossing and turning at 2 a.m., wondering how you're going to be in 3 places at once and then somehow still get dinner on the table. First of all, we see you.
Shame for you, I blame you for this.
Hear you.
This is why you practice a speech picking for you, so you don't look like this.
You're frustrated.
You're not wrong for doing that.
I know you're probably disgusted by most of what you see going on in Washington, and I'll be really honest with you, you're not wrong for feeling that way. Look, I get it. The task in front of us isn't an easy one, but I can promise you one thing. It is worth it. So I am asking you, for the sake of your kids and your grandkids, get into the arena. Every generation has been called to do hard things. American greatness rests in the fact that we always answer that call. It's who we are. Never forget, we are steeped in the blood of patriots who overthrew the most powerful empire in the world. We walk in the footsteps of pioneers who tamed the wild. We now carry forward the same.
You lost that war! What the fuck are you talking about? You lost that war.
We continue to draw courage from those who bent the moral arc of the universe. And when we gaze upon heavens, never forget that our DNA contains the same ingenuity that put man on the moon. America has been tested before, and every single time we've emerged unbowed and unbroken. Our history has been written with the grit of men and women who got knocked down. But we know their stories because they did not stay down. We are here because they stood back up. So now it's our turn, our moment to stand up and prove ourselves worthy of protecting the American dream. Together, we can reawaken the heroic spirit of a great nation. Because America, we don't just have a rendezvous with destiny. We take destiny in hand and we lead it. Our future starts around kitchen tables just like this, with moms, dads, just like you. And you are why I believe with every fiber of my being that despite the current state of our union, our best days are still ahead. May God bless you, and may God continue to bless these United States of America.
Wow.
What the
Alabama
fuck?
Senator
Holy fuck.
What is like?
Holy
Like, did
fuck.
she even know what she was responding to?
making his way out of the House chamber, Rhonda. Let's reflect on Senator Britt's speech.
Senator Britt from Alabama, she's youthful. That is something that Republicans wanted her to showcase tonight. There is youth and energy in their party. Her state is at the center. It's a flashpoint right now over the argument over reproductive rights with their IVF ruling, but the lawmakers in Alabama have enshrined and protected IVF services. But she was chosen specifically for those reasons. And I will point out, she has been helping Republicans message on IVF and reproductive rights in their own way, including the former president. Have you thought that speech was very strong on its messaging? She was very emphatic, almost emotional at times. She was former communications director here on the Hill. And for folks at home who may not know what that role is, that's the person who helps senators and House members craft their own messaging, makes relationships with the press. You could tell that she's very well studied in that area. And then she became a chief of staff as well for Senator Richard Shelby of Alabama, her predecessor. So she laid out that she felt Biden had failed on the border. She also talked about her children. She wanted to show that she was a person at home. You saw the backdrop was the kitchen. It appeared to be. And she talked about
that was a green screen. That was not a real kid.
Republicans do. But I think what really struck me is that she tried to be very folksy, very at home, and reach people about their kitchen table issues. We'll see if that type of messaging is effective. But I think, and given the fact that the president is still here in the chamber, it shows he has left. Okay, well, he has recently left, which is actually longer than usual, far longer than usual. It does show that Democrats feel that he had a good night. He feels he had a good night. We'll see if that Republican message works or is repeated. But she was chosen on purpose for those reasons.
I want to go to you, James Hohmann, to talk about.
I mean, here's the thing.
What Kennedy was trying to say, and then also how she's trying to draw contrast.
They were only pandering to one element with that response. Like it was not like, okay, if you look at Biden, who he invited, you had a black man up there, you had a black woman up there, you had a white female, you had the head of I believe Sweden. Like
you did,
he pointed to various people. Like this woman is literally pandering to one demographic, maybe two. Like definitely these suburban white women, and then maybe some of these
she's in Alabama.
White men.
But bro, she's in Alabama. She doesn't know anything about a national fucking response to anybody. Like the shit that she's pulling, it work on thirsty dudes in the South. Everybody outside that fucking demographic, that manosphere demographic, she look crazy as fuck. Like, I know about the Tuberville dude. I did not know this was the other senator from fucking Alabama.
But
I did not know that. I did not fucking know that.
Well,
I'm sorry. I didn't know that. I didn't know it.
Yeah, ironically, MOT, she replaced Richard Shelby, which he was actually very successful in Alabama and building a lot of stuff up. He did not do as much of the culture war stuff. He actually got stuff done. He was almost like a Johnny Isaacson in Georgia.
Oh, nice. Oh yeah, nice. But it's just that. How do you come out to that speech and lay the culture war that thick on the people? People don't even believe that shit. Like, you're too young to even think about most of this.
MOT. What else do they have? What else do they have?
I mean,
I mean,
I want to hear what AB Media thinks of the speech, though.
AB Media has no idea. He has no clue. What I'm saying is, with these guys here, they are running a culture war. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that they can run. What like Romaine used to say. What did you expect them to say? What did you expect them to say? That's all they have. They have nothing else. So they've been a party of blocking. They don't legislate. They don't bring forth any policy. They've been a party of blockers. So what else do they have to say? What they have to push right now is fear. That is the best thing that they feel that they can go with. They've got nothing else. They bought this woman up.
You're losing your whiteness. You're losing your Americanness because everybody else is producing more than you. We got these things going on at the border. You don't live at the border. You don't realize Trump set up this shit before he got out of office. You don't realize that most farmers are not actually working their farmland. They actually want all these immigrants to come in and work their farms for the free, and once they're done, they want them to go back to their host country. Like, a lot of these people don't know what these situations and circumstances are. Like, I had to take one of my relatives into the lifestyle and show what she thought was her upbringing in Kentucky that was being threatened. I'm like, look out here. You don't see no fucking whites out here working these fields. You see Trump 2024, see Abla SBO coming in and fucking apply for a goddamn job. Like, these people are not out here working those fields, and they never have. And I'm talking about, I do hops for Anheuser-Busch and Coors. I do a lot of shit, and it's like none of these people who are conservatives are out here working their conservative fields. They are all engaged in this nearly free labor market that is out here, and they have been doing this shit for generations. They are not out here to hire people. They're here to make the most amount of profit as humanly possible.
That is the bottom line. That's the bottom line.
And it's so sickening when you hear like her. She's a pure beauty grift, where she says all that conservative shit behind a green screened the fuck out background, and it's like, this woman doesn't give a rat's ass about nobody in your state. This woman will sell your ass out in a fucking heartbeat.
And the wild thing is, OT, she's positioning herself like, this conservative housewife. But I'm like, really, if you're really pitching it that way, why are you talking about politics in the first place?
That's not the place, not in the South.
Exactly.
It's like we're not talking mayor. We're not talking state senator. We're talking about U.S. motherfucking Senate. I had no idea. I'm not an Alabama person. I had no idea who the other senator was. Ever. I never even Googled it. I never even thought about it. I thought it was somebody dumber than fucking Tuberville. And once I fucking saw this shit, I'm like, what in the fuck is why did she think she was gonna come on with this fucking speech after the State of the fucking Union? After does she think she's about to be the next Obert or fucking MTG? Bro, no one has seen her on the national stage yet. And they think because they can get pretty women out here and they say stupid shit, they think that shit's gonna fucking work. And it's like, at the end of the day, man, bro, you gotta be able to make sure.
Listen.
Did it work with Sarah Palin?
No.
It did work with Sarah Palin. It did work with Sarah Palin for a while.
Well, for a while, but Sarah Palin.
Not when she got on the. Not when she got on the.
She only had a brain. If Sarah Palin was good on stage when you just sat her on stage and didn't have anybody asking her questions, she's
just been out there too long though, and she didn't okay, so she was out there too long. She didn't up her actual level of information, and she just kept walking. She just ran into how people run into minefields. She just ran into wreck fields. Kept on rake after rake after rake. And this is shit that she should have known
Yeah.
That she was going to be asked over and over again. She was crazy.
I watched it closely. This woman she was profoundly unprepared for the job she was getting ready. She wanted to take. She was profoundly unprepared. And
there was such a disrespect to fucking John McCain. He could have went with any other industry person in the Republican Party and would have been just fine.
No.
They decided to go with her.
They tried to jumpstart their campaign with her. It actually worked in the beginning. It worked. It actually did. People were terrified when she first came out there on stage and talking about putting lipstick on a pig and all that. She looked good. A lot of dudes, you know how these white boys were. Everybody wanted to get up in them pants or in them drawers as well. Folks thought that shit was live. They were like, "Oh, this is live." She came out and definitely shocked a lot of people. So that first initial hit was shocking, and there was no doubt they actually closed about a 4-point gap there. But what happened after that is when they asked her, "Well, what kind of papers do you read? What Supreme Court cases can you talk about?" I read all the papers. I read Supreme Court cases. I know all the Supreme Court cases. Couldn't name a paper that she read. Then after that she was done. But that was a time, that's a little bit different than today. This woman here tonight, she was more or less like a better version of Lauren Boebert and that monkey MTG. You know what I'm saying? So they put her out there to kind of how would I say, put her at more as a more acceptable face, because those other two were just way too controversial for the for the public. They are they're polarizing. So that was their Sunday punch here. This was their Sunday punch. That's what they had. This was their Sunday punch, bro.
Yeah,
not one policy.
So bad.
No, I was gonna say it will see like that response. It might as well have just been. You might as well have played the Willie Horton ad. Like that,
bro.
Like,
it's
all
like
this was just like, let me go.
I'm just a white woman in the kitchen. Why don't you just do what I ask and I need? And it's like, ma'am, a lot has went on. Do you know what party? Obviously, know the party you represent. Dude, I had no idea this was the senator. Other senator from Alabama. Why is it Sub-Zero 3639 talking about this woman and about what she's doing for black men, black people in the fucking South? Why is he not talking about this woman?
That woman's a Stepford wife, pretty much. Like
God, kept. The woman got kept written all over. Like her fucking husband's probably some billionaire or some fucking whatever the fuck firm or some shit. Top 5 in the state. Kids probably doing some other shit, which is great for her. But it's like at the end of the day, there ain't no way you can relate to these people you're talking to. That whole speech was, and I got a fault checking for you for this. This is why you practice your speech in front of people, so that way you can get pointers on it. Because this type of speech because the media has the speeches. She knows the type of speech, the type of tone that Joe Biden is going to give before she gives her response.
Dude, I'm scrolling social media. Someone said that is definitely going to make Saturday Night Live this week or next.
They go party. They go party.
They go party. And it's gonna be Tina Fey. It has to be Tina Fey.
It's gonna be. They go party. They go party on this, man, in 2 days. In 48 hours, they gonna be partying on this.
They're gonna be like, I'm fine as fuck, and I got dark hair, and I'm from Alabama. What else do you want? What else do you want, thirsty man? What else do you want from Alabama? We have a dumb coach, and then you have the hot cheerleader from Alabama. We both are gonna bring America to heel, and it's like, what the fuck is going on here? Code open, Tina Fey, go.
Let's get it. Let's get it, y'all. This is going to hit all Oh my God! Because I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna watch it. Well, I don't care where I am. I'm gonna be watching that joint. I have it on my phone. I'll be checking it out. So it's gonna be funny. It's gonna be mad funny. But that was their response. So so I have to say for right now.
Trapping.
Yeah. Who said that? Who's that? Wrote?
Yeah. I got it.
Oh my God!
Worked on me.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious. That's hilarious, but absolutely true. So that's what they're doing. I mean, I understand it. They have to run the culture war, the border war game where they actually are the main culprits in this issue. I understand it. I understand that's their Sunday punch. That's their Sunday punch, man. That was their Sunday best. So so that's what they got. That's what they got going on. So, I think they set it off. There's no question. Biden's going to go up some points here. He's going to grab some points here for sure.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
He's like the opponent. Let's just call him the opponent in quotes. The opponent is ducking trials.
Ducking trials, bro.
President and claiming immunity for things that it's just not immunity from. Yeah. Started OnlyFans. Yeah, man, COF, man. It's the COFs. OnlyFans.
Yeah, Jay Shy, you killing me tonight.
Yeah, it's like it's like if you would have told me that she was a staffer for a senator, I'm like, what is this woman's name? I'm not disparaging her, but what I saw tonight, I'm like, I can't look at that and be like, you are a U.S. senator in the state of Alabama.
Yeah, wait, MOT,
you have not been national news.
Wait, MOT, look in the chat. Pull this up. I just wanted to show this. If you could put up on the screen.
Did you share it or is it in the chat?
It's in the StreamYard chat.
Oh, StreamYard chat. Oh, private chat.
Let me see it.
Hold on a second, man.
Oh, it's the Daily Show. Oh no.
No.
Put that up. Put it up, man. Put it up. Come on, dog. We gotta have a little fun with this. Come on.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen.
This
is how a sitting congressman shows up to a State of the Union speech dressed.
And the KKK Fridays.
Look at that animal. Look at that. Look at that filthy animal. I mean, I hate to say it. That's just what the shit. Just look.
Say her name. Who is her?
Look at that.
Whoa. What's at the bottom? Aiken Rule?
Yeah, she's the girl that got killed at the University of Georgia campus.
Yeah.
In her state. Oh, in her state.
Yeah. Yeah, this is how, like, you saw the room of how everyone else was dressed nicely, business professional. This is
I seen like this red hat and this shit pops up out of nowhere. I'm like, oh my god, the motherfucking Secret Service is about to just buck this woman the fuck down. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Let her live.
Like you even saw Biden's reaction. He was like, "Huh?"
Yeah, that's exactly right.
That's when you say that. I didn't want to pause the stream because I muted this shit and I was laughing like, why did she just pop up there with the red shit on? It was like, what are you gonna do? I'm in your face. And it's like, come on, lady.
So, I mean, you guys see what's going on here. So,
Yeah, like someone said in the chat, last year she was decked out in a fur coat, if you remember that.
Yeah.
No. She
was.
That's when I called her a monkey. She looked like a monkey. She looked like one of those macaques, one of them Japanese macaque monkeys. That's what you look like. I said, this chick's a monkey. I mean, and was doing a lot of screaming, doing a whole lot of yapping. It was crazy. So, like I said, man, nah, bro. Like I said, nah, man. Keep up, man. Well, like I said, she's very polarizing figure. She doesn't really, she's not really helping these guys too much. But at the end of the day, this response, I thought.
Oh no, but Boba's not going back to Congress, man. Like they're not filling her in a new district, man. Colorado.
Nah, man, nah.
Colorado works fine.
But Boebert is done. Boebert's finished. Yeah. Boebert's finished, man. She's done it. I saw her tonight. She was sitting there in the crowd.
She had her hair up, which I've never seen her hair up before. She looked like a whole different human being. She was still evil looking, but at the end of the day, yeah, man, you have to put on a different show in a different district. You're just not gonna be able to go over there and do the same thing. You out of there. You out of there. Don't worry about it. We'll get you up out of there.
Nah, she's up out of there. And it was a Jay Sean said she a freak too. Yeah, she a mad freak. She a super freak. So
Andes and the Museum of Art and History in downtown Denver, like, come on, man, like, what's going on, man? You got cameras all over the place. They tell you where the cameras are. Camera right here, camera right there, camera right there. She ain't care. Above me to do it. I want to in liberal city and state.
Yeah, they wild. They wild over there. But like I said, she's done. She's pretty much done. Like I said, right now I would have to say for the Dems currently they're looking pretty good. The Republicans, I think, pretty much they got problems. They're kind of in shambles here. So
let's make a decision. Let's make a decision because there are other decisions that people make within the space, and they say they predicted things.
Of which I've never seen
after the fact. Yeah,
of which I've never seen. I've never seen one of these guys make. But what predictions? Yeah, you remember that? Yeah, remember that art? Yeah, I remember I said that back in 2015. I mean, come on, man. These guys are clowns, bro.
My prediction is Trump does not have the same coalition that he has in 2016. He does not have that coalition. He does not have that coalition to win all of the presidency. He doesn't. He didn't have all these charges from the federal government hanging over his head when he was the presumptive nominee when he started out. Yeah, I don't think this guy can win. I don't see the coalition, especially when your party is coming out and taking the women off the board with the reproductive. It's stupid as shit to even start the fight.
Yeah. But hey, you know what, MOT? When you jump in bed with these evangelicals, like that's where this is coming from.
Man, evil evangelicals are they do not disappoint.
Yep.
They do not disappoint. They don't want you to have any type of reproductive freedom. It doesn't matter how reasonable it is. These dudes have always been forced birth advocates, the FBAs. The original FBAs.
Agreed.
Yeah. I was gonna say to go. I think with this one, like I said, I think he really after seeing this, because people were saying they haven't agreed to debates. After seeing this, I think he could actually even a debate may not be a bad idea. Like I said,
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Like Trump agrees to debates and then he walked back the last moment. If I was Biden, I would not debate Trump at all.
Or if you do, you got to have the ability to cut microphones.
I would.
Yeah, but here's the thing: like, how do you debate somebody who can't shut the fuck up and let you talk?
That's why I say you got to cut microphones.
Yeah, you got to cut microphones because I mean,
but they'll start icing the debaters and shit. Like,
MOT,
like they did the same shit the other time.
MOT. Okay. Biden has been there before with this guy. No,
but Trump's not going to follow any established rule set. And most dudes want to see a fist fight and a show between these two older men, and it's like Biden is going to be held to a standard of being presidential, and Trump's going to be held to a standard of just showing the fuck up and throwing hands.
Hey, only thing Trump has to do is get back up there again and say something like, "What about the Proud Boys? Stand back, stand by." That's all we need, man. That's all we need. That's all we need.
Yep.
That's all we need. And see, this guy, he's that much of a megalomaniac. He'll do something like that again. Just when you know this guy is of a caloric temperament, agitate him. That's what you do. Sun Tzu, the Art of War. It's perfect. Perfect for him. You can tell him that, and he'll still go for it. He can't resist. Get him. Get him out. Just get him out there to make that kind of comment. He'll do.
I think the other thing too is Trump hadn't been running on policy. I mean,
he's got no policy.
That's why he was like, "Oh well, don't fix the border because I won't have anything to run on." It's like, dude, like, what are you running on other than like a revenge tour and like you're angry that you felt like you were cheated and you want to, you basically want to take over the government. Like, it's like, dude, you've got to have something you're actually running on. And like, it's looking more and more like the economy is not going to be it either. So it's like, of course, like, okay, all I got, like, well, let the border just keep getting bad and we can just talk about how bad things are. And it's like, oh, Biden was actually going to give you everything you wanted. And you were like, well, if he does that, I won't have anything to run on. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can get this guy Trump to make some stupid comment. He'll say something crazy because he's been out here all year long at the beginning of the year, out here making crazy statements. So he will do that in a debate. I think you could really get him to
Biden called him out on that. He called him out in the speech. He said, Trump said he wanted to what was it, like, end abortion or something that was very controversial. He just outright said it. These Republicans were trying to boo him. He's like, yeah, it's his words, not mine. Like, this is what he said.
Exactly. So it's like, well, when they were booing him because he was bringing it up, and then they don't like hearing it. But this guy is, he's definitely subject to making some crazy statements. So as I said, don't underestimate Biden. These guys are making a mistake. Let them continue to underestimate him and think he's not ready. I mean, that's what we saw here tonight. People were not really prepared. They thought this guy was a crispy critter. You know what I mean? But really, he was a he came out there kind of like a gangster. So I mean, this is what's going down, and I say, keep pressing, keep him well rested, keep the economy and everything going, and let this guy get in front of the people a bit more and push his programs and get this Trump out here to start screaming and acting crazy and doing what he do. And I think things will things will work out fairly well. That's how I see that, but let's see how this continues.
Yeah. I think, like I said, it'll be interesting to see like what the polls look like, what the viewership was like. But like I said, I think part of it has been, people have ragged on Biden's age so much. I think it kind of lowered the bar for him and actually gave him a leg up in this instance of, hey, everybody's expecting me to be, fumbling and not being able to remember things, this and that. And, that guy saying his memory was bad. And, you go give a speech like that. You're like, you see how much of a partisan hack, that appointee was, who was like, oh, this is a frail old man that, means well, but it's just lost. And I'm like, you kind of put a little bit of that to bed tonight. Like, hey, I still got some fire in me.
He came out aggressive. And remember, he's the president. He's got the biggest mic going. He's got the bully pulpit. He can throw lightning bolts from there. Utilize that seat. Use it. It's powerful. So that's the position the president has when he sits there and gets in front of the whole nation and can make himself look good. Very powerful seat. Big advantage over a challenger. That's why it's hard to beat incumbents. So that's what you're looking at. So good job tonight for sure.
Yeah, and
All right.
I was watching. Apparently, he's got an interview with I think Jonathan Capehart coming out this weekend as well. So he's definitely trying to ride this momentum into the weekend.
And smart move, proper rollout, move this thing properly, have him hitting at the right time right now, and really start to kind of amp things up. And as long as the numbers look good, as I said, we have to go with the history of the presidencies, and in the last 100, I think the last 115, last 120 years, we've only had 5 or 6 presidents not make it. Over 40, over the 40 you have, and I mean, that's a huge advantage that he automatically has. So you have to look at that as well. Anyway, go ahead.
And I was gonna say, Nego, and I think we talked about this. I think this officially, at least in their mind, really, especially with Trump winning Super Tuesday and the timing, this really sort of kicks off the re-election campaign between Trump and Biden. That officially kind of started tonight.
It definitely did.
The speech.
Yeah, he set it off. He set it off for sure. So
as much as he could have, given his energy level, but at the end of the day, if you look at the facts of the speech, there's no real reason to consider anyone else other than people within the party itself.
Yep. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, and I was going to say, outside of like that really sets the tone too, because I was going to say, outside of maybe like a press conference, but even there, or like like I said, this interview coming up, this was sort of your one chance, especially if you don't do debates, to really just have everyone's attention and really just sort of center yourself, especially since they didn't do the Super Bowl thing. So and you could argue Trump really won't have that unless it's like a Trump town hall or something. It's like you're not going to have, to your point, Nagona, just being the incumbent, you're not going to have that other opportunity to just really have that bully pulpit and
no, you're not.
Just have undivided attention and really, truth be told, have have the people you're against, your adversaries, the opposite party, you're sitting there just cracking them over the head with points, and they're just sitting there quiet and just listening.
It's a powerful. The president's a powerful seat. The bully pulpit. I mean, Roosevelt said the buck stops here. The buck stops here. That's what he had on his desk. Roosevelt. This is where it starts. This is where it ends. Right here. Bully pulpit. Very powerful seat. So and he's president. He's president. He knows how to use it, and he's got to utilize it tremendously. And that's what he has advantage over his opponent. He has big advantage there. Use it critically, because it's effective.
I agree. So any last word before we got back here, rest man?
Nah. Great stream. Did you ever give your grade, MOT?
My grade was a B+.
Okay.
The things that I thought that he should get better on is hammering the Supreme Court while they were there. He should have talked about the actual disqualify him from the actual.
Oh, okay. Throwing off the ballot.
He should have took that opportunity to humiliate, shame, and embarrass all those people there.
Oh, okay. That is a good point.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. That is a very, very good point. Very good point.
But for me, like I said, great stream. It'll be interesting. Like I said, I'm watching some of it on MSNBC right now. But it'll be interesting to see, the talk shows as well as the weekend talk shows. Just their take, and then what happens in the polls next couple weeks.
We're in March. You have to understand. This guy has to duck this type of criticism through the campaign in November or October. It's crazy.
Well, I was saying too, like, you got to think last time in March around 2020, that's where Biden really picked up and won, because that's 4 years ago. This time, this is when COVID was really starting to jump off, and Trump was not playing it and not taking it seriously.
Yes, he was. He sure was.
People started to get sent home, work from home, from the off, out of from their offices, from their houses. So, this is where all this jumped off. So, and that's where Biden really jumped ahead when
I
Trump
mean,
was
the
actually
only
in the
thing that
polls.
he has for this shit is vote for me so I don't go to jail. That's not a good presidential campaign.
And he has no other policies. He has no other policies. He has
His
nothing else.
policy is, I'm MAGA, I'm the shit. If you vote for me, I will insurrect again. I'll hold the power again. And it's like, you can't do, like, bro, like, you already spent your cheese, bro, already. Like, you already cheese broed yourself into a corner to where you can't do this shit again.
And then, like I said, his points are no different than they were in 2016. He's no different, no growth, no anything, and I'm questioning whether he can really bring in many of the independents in the middle of the roaders that he's going to need. So I think he has very little.
The coalition ain't there. The coalition can't be there.
Yeah, it's not looking strong. Like I said, we'll see. I certainly feel his chances are better. I mean, the president, definitely can expand, out here now and do a lot better. So anyway, that's pretty much it. MOT, I really do appreciate you bringing me up, man. And great stream.
Cool, man. Thanks for coming up. Rest
Yep.
of my anything else before we get here.
No, I'm good. I'll catch you guys later.
Okay. All right.
All right, man. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for everybody staying out here with us for as long as you did. This is the actual political stream for the State of the Union address. Thanks for coming through. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. You guys have a real nice day. Peace.